Hi, my name's Ernest from LiFePO4 Oz, and today I wanted to talk to you about active balances, passive balances, and what is the difference. So, a passive balancer is usually built into the BMS, and what it does is it uses resistors in order to restrict the amount of current going into a particular cell. Now, when you get your cells and you take them out of the box, each one of the cells are going to have variance in their internal resistance. Now, a cell with higher internal resistance will absorb charge slower than a cell that has lower internal resistance. So as you charge them, a particular cell may absorb more charge than another cell in the same bank. As it's charging, it will govern the cell that has lower internal resistance to allow the other cells to catch up and basically stay balanced that way. Passive balancers only work while you're charging. They do not work being discharged or being static, and the passive balancers are very minimal. For example, the passive balancer in the daily BMS is only around 200 milliamps. Now, when you're charging at high rates such as 50 or 60 amps, the passive balancer may not keep up if the difference in internal resistance between the cells in your bank is too great. So the passive balancer does contribute to keeping your cells balanced, but it really comes down to the cells in your bank and again, the rate you're charging at. Now, active balancers. Active balancers use capacitors and it will work during charging, discharging, or even just sitting there static. It basically takes charge from the highest charged cell and transfers that energy into lower charged cells to, again, try and keep them balanced. We always recommend that you run an active balancer with your bank. So it could either be the daily 1 amp active balancer, the 5 amp Heltec active balancer, or the JK BMSs have an internal 2 amp active balancer built into the BMSs themselves. Which active balancer do you need really comes down to the rate at which you're charging at and the difference or the variance in internal resistance that occurs between your cells. Now, that will change over time. So if you're charging at high rates and your cells have a little bit of variance in their internal resistance, then it's probably advisable to go for a higher active balancer than lower. But again, it all comes down to how you treat the cells and their internal resistance. But if you need to know anything more about our active balancers, the passive balancers, our cells, or any of the other products that we sell, jump onto our website, LiFePO4Oz.com, and you can contact us through the chat. Otherwise, you can go onto the Contact Us page where there's some other contact options there.